Right, this is a serious video, guys, and this is a follow-on from yesterday's video because Rune actually dropped another key level of support and it went all the way down to, ready for it, 95 cents. We were saying how much of a bargain Rune was last week at $2. It's gone all the way to 95 cents. It's currently rebounded to $1.38. So anybody that's holding Rune, firstly, are you holding it in proportion? Secondly, are you diversified? And thirdly, are you worried? Because we're going to delve into a little bit more about what Rune needs to do by the end of today, guys, the end of today, for it to hold this key level, for it to have another chance, and for it to start going bullish going into next week. Right, okay, so we have got a bit of a recovery on Rune. In fact, it's recovered over 40% since its low yesterday. So that's not a bad bounce, but there is a key level we're going to talk about. This key level is the elephant in the room. But before we do that, let me tell you a little bit about myself, guys. I'm a technical analyst. I'm not a newsreader. I'm not a researcher. I look at the charts and I tell you what is in front of me. You can look at the charts and you can tell whether there's a heartbeat in the chart, how much fear is in the chart, whether there's buying orders and whether there's selling pressure. You can look at all sorts of these different things that get clues from reading candlestick patterns. That's real-time price action. And that's what I do, guys. I haven't got time to go researching fundamentals. I haven't got time to be researching this. And I understand that there's problems with Thorchain, guys. I understand that there's problems with liquidity. But we had exactly the same thing with Solana. When Solana was $7, and that was due to the FTX crash, when Solana was $7, guess what? Exactly the same sentiment, exactly the same hype, exactly the same fear was happening when Solana was at $7. Guess what, guys? The people that bought Solana at $7 were the people that made all that money. It's $220 now. I know that the circumstances are different, fundamentals are different, and that kind of thing, guys, but people are comparing this to Luna. Now, when Luna went down, I remember the Luna crash. When Luna went down, guys, you look at the Luna candle, it went like that in a straight line, completely crashed, completely dead. Now, Thorchain, they've got liquidity issues, they've got debt problems, they need to sort that kind of thing out. However, it is something that can be sorted. So what I'm saying is, if this is being held in proportion, if this is diversified, should you be fearful? I've got a little bit of Thorchain, guys. I'm not fearful at the moment. I'm holding on, but there is one key level. So from a trading perspective, what did I say yesterday? Let's get this back up. From a trading perspective, this risk to reward, what's happened? It's just improved completely because every time we put in a new lower low, every time we put in a new lower low, and every time we put in a new lower low, it increases our reward and it reduces our risk. So the significance of the crack. Let's talk about the significance of the crack again. I know I'm a broken record, guys, but the significance of the crack is, if this is a dead coin, if this is dead, we'll measure how far this has dropped. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Obvious. It's obvious. It's in a downtrend. From its top, guys, this is its top, just its recent swing high, $7.55. $7.55 to where it went down to its low yesterday, 95 cents. 87.32% to where price action is now. To where price action is now, 81%. So this thing has absolutely been slammed, guys. It has got problems fundamentally. From a technical perspective, it doesn't look dead to me yet. So why do we wait for the break and why do we wait for momentum? And if this coin is dead, why is it not going to break and why is it not going to give us momentum? Firstly, once we've got momentum, that means one thing. Just pull up the RSI a minute. Once we've got momentum, that means one thing, that we're getting buy-in pressure. That means people are interested. If people are interested, that means people are buying. If people are buying and the price starts going up rather than down, that means there's more buy orders than sell orders. And that means there's more people buying than selling. That's where the reversal begins. So up here, guys, it was the opposite. More people were selling than buying. More people were selling than buying. That's what news does. That's what fear does. That's what FUD does. And I'm not saying this thing can't go to zero, guys. Anything can go to zero. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying keep a cool head and look at exactly what the charts are telling you, because you can play this to your advantage. If you do get the break, what does it allow for? The protections. So if you don't get the break, what doesn't it allow for? No protections. So you get the break here, guys. Let's do this. Hypothetical scenario. You're shooting below the previous swing low and you're shooting for the previous swing high. That brings the risk to reward to 4.4, hypothetically. That's because of this candle to the downside, and that's if hypothetically we broke here. Doesn't mean we will. Probably won't happen like that. It could more happen something like this, where you get some kind of a pullback. You need to confirm this level as support, i.e. double bottom, and then try for another turn. What would that do to your risk to reward? brings your risk to reward up, guys. But what it does is it tells us a signal. So this is where fundamentals goes out the window. This is where technicals comes in the window. It gives you a signal that there's more buying pressure than selling pressure. It gives you the signal that for the first time you've cracked trend, and it gives you a signal that you've potentially put a low in. And more importantly, it gives you a signal that if you are wrong, Thorchain did go to zero. Guess what? Minimal amount of capital at risk, guys. Risk management is the key. So Thorchain, everybody's scared of Thorchain, and I'm not an advocate for Thorchain, guys. I've got a little bit of it. I don't marry it. I'm expecting to sell all of my altcoins during the alt season. But look at the rest of the market. 13.6%, Virtual's down 13.9%, Atom down 8.1%, Theta down 9.6%. We've got Jasmy Coin 11.6%. So the market as a whole started to cool off, guys. We've been in greed, 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 and we're still in greed now, but we're at 60 as far as the fear and greed is concerned on Bitcoin. So what is this key level? What's this key level that we need to hold? And why is it the key level that we need to hold? What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out, higher the time frame, higher the conviction, the more the levels stick. So we're going to be looking for support on a higher time frame. And look at this, guys. This major support here. Let me just zoom in. This major support here. This build up of price action went all the way back to June 2022. So that was resistance for such a long period of time. You would expect that to flip support. It didn't flip support because we dropped that level. So what's the next level we've got to fall back on? It's the $1.39. So this is the weekly chart, guys. And what I'm saying is, earlier on, since I started this video, I've actually pushed back up and we've breached this. So $1.40 is going to be a key level that we need to close above on the weekly candle. This is the weekly candle. We're on the weekly chart. Let me just zoom in so you can see this a bit better. Let me make the wicks white so you can see it a bit better. So you can see these wicks here. So at some point during the day, the bears have pushed price all the way down here. Now the bulls have got some kind of control. This is what I mean, signals from the chart, heartbeats from the chart. Is there any buy orders at all? Is there any buy orders? You can see that the bulls have pushed price up, they've pushed price up, they've pushed price up, they've pushed price up. Now this is the aim of the game, guys. If the bulls hold this key level, then we're likely to get a bullish candle going into next week. Some kind of a bullish reaction and potentially even cracking trend, guys. So this is the key level. We've actually got 13 hours, just under 14 hours left until the end of the day. So monitor that. $1.40. If we finish the day above $1.40, I think there's a high probability that you're going to get a bullish candle going into next week. So just edge with calm, guys. Just have a bit of calm and think, how do you play it? What happens if you're wrong? Do you hold a diversified bag? Is it allocated accordingly? Or are you really heavy in this and has this really hit you hard? Because people that are new to crypto, guys, they see the shiny things, they'll see their runes, they'll see their Jasmy coins. And I love Rune, I love Jasmy coin, guys. Would I be putting my house on it? No. Would I be putting more than, say, 5% of my portfolio in it? No. So, like I say, guys, anybody that's holding Rune, this is the level that we need to hold by the end of the day, $1.40. That's the end of the weekly candle. It's Sunday today, so that's going to give us a confirmation going into next week. Anybody that's trying to trade Rune, this is how I'm trading it, waiting for the break, protecting myself below the previous low, knowing that if Rune did go to zero and it did go to nothing, then I'm stopped out with the minimal amount of capital at risk. Stopped out with 2-3%, thing goes down 90%, you'd be happy. Right, okay, guys, I'm going to be doing a full market update very shortly. So I'll be going over Bitcoin, I'll be going over the state of the market, what we can expect looking forward going into next week, and then I'll do some altcoins. See you in a few hours.